Most consumers shop for sustainable tuna, sustainable fast food, and sustainable lobster. They believe this is sustainable fishing. But in reality, commercial fishing causes suffering and death to dolphins, seals, whales, sharks, sea turtles, and humans. Most consumers go shopping in search of sustainable fish. Many look for the gold standard label of the Marine Stewardship Council. Walmart wants all of its great value tuna coming from MSC fisheries. However, corporations and MSC are blue-washing the harms of the fishing industry and scamming consumers. Would you trust the MSC label if you knew MSC violated their own standards? Corporations and MSC should be accountable for decimation to oceans and sea life.
If the ocean dried up tomorrow, life would also dry up. That's where most of the action on Earth is. It's 97% of the water on Earth. They should know that with every breath they take, every drop of water they drink, the ocean is touching them. You should treat the ocean as if your life depends on it, because it does.
There are 4 problems when the Marine Stewardship Council violates its own standards. These are ecosystem destruction, millions of bycatch victims, discarded plastic nets, and forced labor and child labor. MSC certifies large bottom trawling nets as tall as 3-story buildings and as wide as football fields that are dragged along the bottom of the ocean, scraping up every living thing in their paths. Entire ecosystems are decimated along with the animals that depend on them. The nets destroy fragile 1,000-year-old coral, in addition to crustaceans, sharks, and rays that are thrown back into the sea, dead or dying.
We teach kids that it's okay to kill fish. We start at a really early age and celebrate whether it's sport fishing or commercial fishing, let alone the large-scale industrial fishing.
Mm-hmm.
We're taught, don't worry, they don't feel pain the way we do.
Marine Stewardship Council certifies fisheries that use gear meant to catch fish, but also kill seabirds and marine mammals. When dolphins are entangled in nets, fishers will cut off tails and fins to untangle them. Long lines, up to 60 miles long with tens of thousands of hooks, are meant to catch big fish like tuna, but also kill thousands of sharks and seabirds like albatross, petrel, and tens of thousands of sea turtles each year. Purse seiners are huge circular nets where fishers draw the bottom tighter and tighter. Sharks, marine mammals, and sea turtles are caught and crushed inside. They are thrown back into the ocean, dying or dead.
But this is a purse seiner operating in Asia, and it was catching obviously tuna in its nets, but also caught these pilot whales. Or we believe they're pilot whales. We're still waiting to get them to identified.
Yet, the MSC certifies fisheries that use this inhumane, harmful gear. Here's why.
We don't consider only the gear type to determine whether or not sustainability is possible. Any fishery will have some level of impact. We don't expect fisheries to have zero bycatch. I think that would be unrealistic for most, if not all, commercial fishing. But MSC certified fisheries are expected to provide evidence that they're reducing or that they're mitigating their bycatch impacts.
These fisheries have bycatch. Maybe they may need to report it, but they can just throw it overboard without anyone noticing. There have been observations that several adopters did not scrupulously comply with MSC arrangements.
MSC has failed to effectively manage its fisheries' discarded plastic nets. Every minute, sea turtles, whales, dolphins, and sharks are being strangled by discarded plastic nets. Millions of tons of this gear are the major source of suffering and death.
And we think of ourselves as being lofty, humane creatures, different from all others in our ability to empathize, but the more we look, the more we find that there's empathy with other creatures, and often it's lacking in our own species.
Children are forced to work in dangerous conditions, and this is perpetuated by the commercial fishing industry, including MSC and its retailers. Fisheries enslave adults and children, force them to work on ships and keep them separated from their families for years. Some never make it home because they are murdered.
We were beaten a lot. I'm still traumatized by it.
In 2019, many of the world's leading human rights organizations co-signed a statement criticizing the Marine Stewardship Council's new chain of custody certification for not identifying, preventing, or protecting seafood workers from labor rights violations.
Corporations and MSC are duping customers and bluewashing the harm their fisheries cause. Commercial fishing is causing great suffering on every level. Walmart, Bumblebee, ConAgra, Target, Whole Foods, Amazon, and MSC are profiting off of this bluewashing.
You should treat the ocean as if your life depends on it, because it does.
Corporate greed is a powerful force. Corporations make billions of dollars off the plundering of our oceans and the exploitation of sea life. Join consumers nationwide who are demanding these corporations be held accountable. To learn how you can help with our initiative to protect and restore oceans and marine life, call Wendy Kerner at 719-839-0657.